We do not all have to be minimalists. There is a lot of content on the internet that inspires people to try to embrace minimalism. A few years ago, I felt quite enthusiastic about the idea of it, but now less so. I still do not want to have unnecessary clutter, lots of things that will never get used, but I'm okay with owning some things that I may not need in the next 5 years or even 10 years. I do not want to be drowning in arts and crafts supplies, but when I lose a button from my coat, I do not want to drive to an arts and crafts shop that is 20 minutes away in search of a suitable replacement button. I want to pull out a jar of random buttons that I collected over the years from my cupboard, pour the buttons on the table, and find a suitable button there. There is a possibility that some of the buttons in that jar will never get used. If this jar doesn't fit in with the minimalist mindset or a minimalism-inspired aesthetic, I'm okay with that. If I need to sew up a seam that has come apart on a t-shirt, again, I do not want to drive to a shop to purchase thread. I want to have a variety of colors of threads at home, immediately available for my use. In regards to clothes, many minimalists suggest one should have a small number of outfits that work very well for them, and that one should let go of clothes that either don't fit perfectly or they do not wear much for some other reason, maybe ones that are terribly out of fashion. While I do occasionally get rid of clothes that I know I will never wear, I tend to keep things that are of good quality but temporarily do not fit well or are out of fashion. Fashion changes, and so do we. I'm not going to dispose of a perfectly good, nice pair of jeans that are of an unfashionable cut just so I have to repurchase similar jeans in 3 years' time when they come back into fashion. I'm okay with them being neatly packed away and waiting to come back into fashion. I feel like getting rid of good clothes that are not perfect for me at a point in time for the sake of a minimalist, empty-looking wardrobe would actually be delayed consumerism, because it would mean having to acquire new things quite often. Maybe that's the thing, minimalism versus minimalist aesthetic. Someone recently told me that when people sell houses in our area, many real estate agents encourage them to put most of their household belongings into a storage facility so that their house looks emptier, more spacious, more minimalist. I'm not a real estate agent, and I'm sure they know what sells better than I do, but personally, I would see a house with well-designed storage as more appealing than a house that only looks tidy because it's empty. Also, I guess the benefit of not having many things is greater for some groups of people than others. Someone who moves or travels a lot may be in a different position to a family who don't often go away or move. Someone who lives in a place with easy and affordable access to shared resources may be in a different position to someone who lives in the middle of nowhere. Perhaps there's no need to own lots of books when you have a wonderful library next door, but if you don't have a wonderful library next door, you're more likely to own a lot of books that take up space in your house. Sure, my bookshelves do take up a lot of space, but I'm okay with that. I don't want to sit in an empty house with no books to read, no arts and crafts supplies to make something with, while wearing my only pair of fashionable, perfect-fitting jeans. How do you feel about this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please tell me in the comments.